And we back. Today, no, we are not doing a rebuild, but we're talking about the game mode that me and you both know and love, and that is, of course, My League. I mean, maybe we don't love it. We love the concept of My League, but maybe not the execution of it. So leading up to 2K21, I had made multiple videos basically explaining to y'all and the rest of the community that 2K was going to copy and paste My League into 2K21, just like they did into 2K20 from 2K19. We knew that. But even then, when 2K21 dropped, I still welcomed it with open arms because, like I said, the concept of building a team is something that it'll never be beat to me. That is the most fun thing I can think of in all of a sports game. So though there's so many bugs and things wrong with the mode, at the core basis of this mode is beautiful. So I had it with open arms. I dropped 2 weeks worth of videos, and here is my response to the mode after 2 weeks. It sucks. It's completely broken. And I want to try to be the middleman between 2K and the community. And some of you may know Michael Stafford, the guy that started, or not the guy that started, but the guy that creates the rosters, the head of the rosters, follows me on Twitter. And 2K has been notorious for being terrible with talking to their community about what's going on. They have dropped multiple patches in the history of 2K, and it doesn't tell you what's in the patch notes. It just has been a very bad company when it comes to relaying information to their community. And if I could be the middleman between the 2K roster guys and the My League community, so be it. I want to be that mouth for y'all. So I want to talk about some of the things that has been on my mind after 2 weeks of playing the game. Again, it is still so broken, and there's just some changes that need to be done. Very simple. And I don't want any of this to fall on Michael's back, because from every conversation I've had with Michael, he seems like a very cool dude. He seems like he cares about the community, and I can't say that about everybody I've talked to in the 2K realm. He cares about the rosters. He just can't do everything. But here's my little message to all of the other people in the community, bro. It's bad. So be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. I have to say that. But in yesterday's video, we were talking about Robert Covington. If you've been around the channel for a long time, you know Robert Covington is a meme around here. For 2-3 years straight, I would trade for Robert Covington, and he'll come into the season and shoot 35% and 30% from three and average 6 points per game. When in reality, we know Robert Covington to be a decently impactful player. Definitely a guy that majority of your teams would love to have on their team. So what is the disconnect between how he plays in real life versus 2K? If we go to Robert Covington's attributes, the reason Robert Covington always shoots 35% from the field is this stat right here: offensive consistency. Everybody in the league that has a low offensive consistency ends up being bad in 2K. And it seems very simple, but that little one rating matters so much in the game of 2K that it is ridiculous. So when 2K launched, there were people out there that were going through all of the rosters and basically finding inconsistencies within the roster. It was a whole tweet that blew up on Twitter. I retweeted it, and that's kind of how I got in contact with Michael Stafford from 2K and everything. But one of the main things that was in that tweet that jumped off the paper to me, and I was like, how is this even possible? That I had to go and see with my own eyes, y'all. It said that Giannis, this is the launch of 2K21, mind you. At the launch of 2K21, Giannis had a higher mid-range rating than Kawhi Leonard. A higher mid-range rating than Kawhi Leonard. And since then, they have hot fixed it. It is not the case anymore. But it is a shame that this game that they have been working on for an entire year can still have something like this at launch time. There's something that I've heard between 2K. Actually, Michael Stafford said it before 2K19 dropped, basically saying that the way they do ratings is not, it's just Michael Stafford with his controller. Kawhi should be an 86, so let me up that to 86. They have what they want to call a different formula that they use to get ratings. And if that's the case, this formula that you are using is highly flawed if it allowed Giannis to have a higher mid-range jump shot than Kawhi at launch day. Highly flawed. And if you want statistics to prove it, I got it. And that is about league average. The way this works, if you see an orange or yellow, that means he was great at it. As you can see, last year, his first MVP season, he was amazing at the rim. There was nobody better than him. This season, maybe not so much. He has always been, as far as the mid-range jump shot shooting in the last couple years, been average to below average, right? And we compare it to Kawhi, who is scorching hot. He's literally one of the top mid-range shooters in the league, in the entire league. 45%, and it has been that way throughout his entire career. So how do we look at the statistics and also watch the games, because that is also super important, and say to me that Giannis at the launch of this brand new basketball game should have a higher mid-range jump shot than Kawhi? He shouldn't. And then one thing that makes it so bad, and again, I want to be the voice of the 2K community, or the My League community if I can. We have guys like Ronnie 2K just laughing at us when we point out these inconsistencies, because they hotfixed that. The mid-range thing. They hotfixed it. And then you have Ronnie going onto Twitter and saying that was never the case. I saw it with my own eyes. The community saw it. But then y'all hotfixed it and act like it didn't exist. Now, everything about this post that was found on Instagram was not true. That is a fact. Steph Curry, I don't think at launch actually had a higher block than LeBron. That's cap. But Giannis definitely had a higher mid-range. Jared Dudley definitely had a higher than Duncan Robinson. I saw that with my own eyes. This last one I didn't check, so I would say this is cap. 2K ain't that bad, right? I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But these two ones in the middle, the Giannis mid-range and the Jared Dudley 3 was 100% true. But then we have the head of the 2K community saying, who's putting this fake news up? Literally nothing about this is true. And then he goes on to talk about the ratings. And then he throws this out here. Giannis's mid is an 84 and Kawhi is a 91. But that is literally after the patch, Ronnie. It is after the patch. Duncan Robinson 3-point rating is a 92. It was not a 92 on launch. It wasn't. I checked it with my own eyes. So this is a document. This is for a video I was working on. This is how I work on notes, by the way. This is why I dropped out of college. As you can see, last edited 8 days ago. 8, that's me. 8 days ago. These are the things that I saw, some of the things I saw in the roster that were wrong. Rondo's defense was too high. Cam Johnson's 3-point tendency was 0. Mikal Bridges' defense was lower than Russell Westbrook's. Jared Dudley's 3 was higher than Duncan Robinson. This is 8 days ago, Ronnie. Why would I cap 8 days ago? I saw this stuff. PJ Tucker, corner specialist, he didn't have the badge. DeJounte Murray's mid-range jump shot was the same, or was higher than DeMar DeRozan, and Giannis's mid-range was too high. Those are things I saw with my own eyes when 2K dropped. But Ronnie is telling me I was delusional because they hot patched it. Now you look at Giannis. I showed you the statistics associated with Giannis. And at launch, Giannis had an 84 mid-range, right? Still too high. So what do you think 2K's solution was that to when it comes to the Kawhi versus Giannis's mid-range thing? In my eyes, Giannis's mid-range is too high. It should get lowered. And Kawhi should get increased. But 2K only did half of that. And basically what they did was they left Giannis alone and they gave Kawhi a higher mid. But if we're supposed to be a sim basketball ball game, you can't tell me Giannis deserves an above average mid-range shot. It's just not what he is. He's great at so many other things. This is not something you need to add to him because it's not something he's been. But they did, like I said, hotfix things. I was talking about Cam Johnson's tendencies. Boom, they increased it to 75 when it was at 0. Corner specialist bronze for PJ. Okay. It's not like he's one of the best corner 3-point shooters in the history of basketball or anything. Another thing, while I was scouring through the rosters trying to figure things out, I was actually going to make an entire video where I tried to go in and personally fix all the inconsistency with the rosters. But then as soon as I started, I realized how insane of an idea that was, because it's going to take too long to really do it. So I decided not to. But I was thinking about some of the other stuff associated with 2K, and one of the attributes that I was looking at is the intangible attribute. And it's been in the game since 2K17, because I vividly remember when it got introduced, people were on blogs trying to figure out what the heck that intangible thing did in 2K. Like, I know what the definition of intangible is in real life, but I was wondering, and everybody was wondering, what does it mean in 2K? And here we are in 2K21, and for the most part, it still hasn't necessarily been explained. So yeah, here's an old blog post I found. Intangible rating is a thing that you can't physically grade, such as passion for the game, your heart and soul, your hard work ethic, your mental toughness, your sense of spacing, and finding teammates. So that's what somebody thought it was, and this was 2K17, because it was in 2016. So this is when 2K17 at first dropped. This guy believed this is what intangible was, right? heart and soul, work ethic, mental toughness. Boom. Okay. So if that's the case, let me go look at some of the people with a low intangible versus a high intangible. So if we go to the Celtics and just look at the lowest intangibles on the team, look who's tied. Marcus Smart. So it can't be passion, heart, hard work, mental toughness, because Marcus Smart embodies all of that to a T. So that's false. That's not what intangibles is. Then we saw some people say that intangibles are, take my word for it, but in this video, they are saying that intangibles is your clutch factor. Okay, let's go look at that. Oh, snap. Yuta Watanabe is the clutchest player on the Memphis Grizzlies, huh? How about, oh, Brandon Goodwin, the clutchest player on the team. Oh, Clint Capella, no clutch gene at all. I mean, some of the stuff you could maybe see, but you can't tell. This is almost a perfect rating. Cody Martin is the clutchest player in the league. If that's the case, so we can scratch that off. And the theory that makes the most sense is this one. 2K uses it to control a player's overall and make them look better than they actually are. For example, take two players rated at 90. If the first player has an intangible of 25 and the second player has an intangible of 99, the first player is actually much better. If you took player 2 and decreased his intangible to 25, he will probably be an 85. That makes sense. The intangible rating is a way to regulate the ratings in 2K. Because everybody cares about the overall number of a rating, right? Hassan Whiteside said 4 years ago that his 2020 game, whatever the heck it was, because he wants his 2K rating up. He didn't say he wanted his block up. He wanted that number, that 80 overall that he wanted it to go up, because that's the thing that people look at the most. So to me, the intangible is literally there so the fans can look at a number like Ben Simmons 87 and be like, yeah, he's about an 87 on a scale to 99. That's about right. But what happens if we take all of the intangibles away? That would be 2K's real version of that player. There's no filler. There's no filler because this intangible thing is used as a filler. I already turned it down. And I'm going to show you every overall without 2K's fluff. And here we are. Ben Simmons, we just saw, was an 87. He's an 84. These are what 2K really believes a player is based on their ratings. Based on the core values of basketball, these are what 2K said your ratings is. And as you can see, some players have significant drop-offs because they had such a high intangible rating. They had such a high intangible rating, which really means 2K is calling them a scrub. Hey, listen, we got to give him a high intangible because if we allow him to be a 50 overall, his people are going to be mad. Who are some guys? Cody, let's go look at Cody Martin. We had saw that he had an intangible of a gazillion points. And his overall rating, once you get rid of that intangible, he drops down to a 67. And that is based on his ability to score, his ability to defend, his ability to do all the things on basketball. This is what his real rating is according to 2K. And you know what? I would be okay with this, but I think the overall general public wouldn't be, because they'd be comparing overalls from previous years. If 2K came out and had their cover athlete as an 89 overall, people would lose their mind. Even though Kyrie was a 90 the year he was a cover athlete. But people lose their mind. But according to their own little ratings, these are the real versions of their players without the little fluff. But that's just my theory. I could be completely wrong here, but that's the way I'm seeing things. If you get rid of the intangible rating, this is what the real overalls and rosters look like. I think that might be the end of the video. We still can't load in draft classes. That is bonkers. We are 2 weeks into the game and we can't load in draft classes to a game that desperately needs draft classes. Bonkers to me. And overall, just a lot of stuff needs to be fixed, man. Let's start a campaign to hire me. I mean, I'm not saying I would be on people's butts to get this stuff fixed. I don't know what position they put me in, but shoosh. If I can have some type of say in getting the stuff fixed, then sign me up. Start the petition. Do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you got to do. I think that's enough of my ramble/rant about my league. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave it a like. Tweet this out to the people, and hopefully they see it. That's it. I'm out. Peace.